Hello, and welcome to yet another exciting episode of The Screenshot, your go-to destination for youth culture, entertainment, and social issues. Today, I have very special guests. All my guests are special, but Lava, they are extra special because we are talking about young people in leadership. And not only that, coincidentally, these young people have finished high school, so also dive into that issue of life after school, expectations, their journeys in school, etc. So without taking much of your time, let me let them introduce themselves to you. So start.
Good afternoon to everyone. My name is Pearl Monjeri, an outgoing honorable councillor from Bulawayo Junior City Council, Ward 17, that covers Phumula areas.
Welcome, Pearl.
Thank you so much.
Afternoon, everyone. My name is Brayson Ndlovu, outgoing United Nations Junior Ambassador under the Zimbabwe United Nations Association Ambassador Programs at Schools. I was one of the 3 ambassadors who were within the Bulawayo region. I've been learning at St. Columbus High School. It's been a nice road, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Welcome, guys, and I hope we can just relax, talk about, we want to talk about important things, but also want to talk about relatable things to young people. And so you guys are young leaders, and not most young people get that opportunity. You can be a leader or even think about venturing into leadership, especially at a young age. And so our topic will be centered around that. But first of all, what led you guys or interested you in taking part in the roles that you're currently holding?
I'll start.
Okay.
So generally when I was growing up, I've always wanted to be an advocate for children. Okay. Be it in terms of any issues that are bothering them, just being the one person that children at school look up to. Like whenever there's a problem, they get to be to talk to me about it, and then I get to address it to higher officers. And with me being a junior councillor, that really helped me a lot because I created so many things. I was the voice of the people at school, and it was really interesting.
Okay, you, Bracy?
Well, mine is a journey that goes a little bit far. I started doing quiz in primary. I'd cover a lot of history, so during that coverage of history I got to learn about classical people like Stalin, Lenin from Russia. I liked their ideologies, got to learn about Maoism, had some takeaways I didn't like about that, but ultimately it shaped this goal of why can't there be a person who shapes ideologies that change the world from our own Africa. But that didn't convince me initially enough. When I arrived in high school, I joined the debate club. In the debate club, it's any and everyone's house as long as you can say out your voice the most. So because I managed to, by coincidence, say out my voice the most, I ended up getting an affection or an affinity for things that have got to do with leadership roles. Initially, the plan was to make it to lower 6, become a junior parliamentarian, but then things didn't go as per plan. But I guess it was for a reason. Now I managed to be the United Nations ambassador. It all starts from books such as People Making History, quiz competitions like the Heritage Quiz competition from primary. That's what shapes my vision and how I ended up getting into leadership roles.
Okay, interesting. So I'll get back to you. And so, Pearl, can you tell me more about your role with Junior Council? What exactly do you do?
So as a junior councillor, right, basically we become the voice of the voiceless. The issues that happen, and for example, I was a student at St. Bernard's High. There are issues that I would take to junior council that the children at St. Bernard's don't have an environmental club that takes care of issues such as beans. They don't have environmental skills. They really don't know issues that affect the environment and period poverty. So we would have campaigns whereby we gave pads to kids at school, and when we get there junior council, we talk about the issues that are affecting the youth, and then we find solutions. Because we also held a drug and substance abuse campaign at Phumula, right, where we marched from St. Bernard's Primary School to St. Bernard's to Phumula Old Terminus, and we had organizations that helped us, and it really became a great impact to the Phumula society as well as the kids of the school.
Okay, so tell me, what is the reception like when you are a junior councillor and now you're talking to your fellow school kids, and Do they take you civilly as someone who has a voice? Oh, it's just Upel.
Oh, wow. When we get to that, that's a tough one. Like, there are some kids that would really look down upon me, like, why her? Why was she the one who was chosen? And with that, it would really drain me. At times, I would say, but baby, I also don't deserve this. It will get to moments where I would cry and say, let me just leave it, because I'm there, I'm wearing a court shoe. My uniform is so different from the rest. There's a badge with my whole name on it. And people are just so judgmental, hey? And it would really get draining. Upheli sibili. And I'm like, upheli sibili, but well, it's something that
I think sometimes it comes from the fact that we assume Guti only the older generation has power, you know.
True.
Pearl can't tell me Guti
exactly.
Okay, Bracy, moving on to you. Do you have any particular projects that you've undertaken in your role that have a special place in your heart that you'd like to share with us? And also the reception that you've gotten from your peers, you know, like what we were talking about, Lopeo Guti, you are now in this position and you're trying to do your job.
All right. Let me start off with the easiest to answer, the reception.
Okay.
The reception for me was really not much of a challenge. I established myself as a political strongman at school during Form 3, Form 4. So when I came to school with another uniform, a blue blazer, it was like, we have been waiting for this for a long time. So when Bracy was talking to people, you could really feel, one, the respect we had with other students, but two, the kind of reception that, yes, this is our representative, we are happy with this person representing us. Why would I particularly think that happened? I was never shy when I found out that I liked oratory. From the very beginning, I just showed up. I'd give speeches in assemblies, I'd give speeches in class. My in-class speeches were always the last in the 45 students in class because they never ended. But that's that. So really, with time, everyone within the St. Columbus community did come to a point of saying, we know there are such things, they are done by these people, but when it comes to things that have to do with leadership, we go to Bracy. That's the person to go to. So the reception was really quite well. Even the teachers were willing to relate with us. Again, you know, when people hear United Nations, they're like, wow, this is a good post, this is a good organization and all the like. So on terms of the reception, that was quite good. Projects I did take up, it wasn't really materialistic, but I started leading factions within school of people who were really affectionate of education. Over the years, I've really had a good eye for education as something that you can pursue. I love maths, I love geography, I love technical graphics and design. That was my combination. So I inspired as much people as possible to say, hey, guess what? No matter how bad it is at home or whatever happens, the very fact that you're at school, make sure that at least this is what consoles you, because this is the place to be. There is no better place. Yes, sure, rich people do tell you on a daily basis, school won't take you anywhere. But for most of us in this situation, it will take us somewhere, definitely. So that's the project I led. I was promoting SDG for quality education, by the way. So all my campaigns, most of the speeches, I could say 95% of the speeches I did this year were based on trying to empower people to see the truth behind education, one, but the love that lies within them for certain learning areas. The problem is people don't hate school. People just do things they don't like in school. So
I like that. I've never thought of it like that.
Yes.
I like that. Okay. Who's it get it?
Yeah.
When we tell you speeches was paid. You know, there's something that you said that I really, really like. Uguti, not really like, but I hear a lot. Uguti, school won't take you anyway. I think especially for us, we hear it a lot these days. Uguti, iskola sisoze sikusenda upati. I know, we all know ukuthi lokungahambi esikolo akukusindawo. You need to have some education iqiniso lihle in life to navigate your journey in life. And saying I think it's very damaging to, you know, our young sisters and brothers who are coming up ukuthi they grow up with this mentality ukuthi vele chana lakho. So now this question is now to both of you, and what challenges do you face as a young leader? personal challenges that you've come across as someone who's young, but not only with your peers and also with your community, with maybe now taking your issues that you have to higher authorities, and like what challenges do you come across? I'll start with you, Pearl.
There are many challenges that we've come across. Like there's this thing that is called academic depression as a leader.
Okay.
I'm out here, I'm trying to fight for the 15 points that I want to attain at A-level. I also want to make everyone believe that I was an impactful leader, right? And with that, all people who look up to me have to know that this leader had 15 points. But then I now have academic stress, bullet depression. I will not lie. Reading those books, it just really comes. And then there are parents at home that you have to make proud, parents that pay your fees. You don't go to bed on an empty stomach. Like, it's really a lot. Then there are the school authorities, the ones that make sure that whenever there's an event that is associated with you as a leader, you're always there, you present the school as well as the organization that I was in. So really, the challenges are just a lot.
Okay.
And to address them, at times you get to a point where angwazi ukuthi ngenze angwazi, but we just pull through.
So how did you deal with that though?
Mine was a bit difficult, but then the fact that I really have to be able to study and I really have to be a leader, it worked because I got time. Like I have to make a timetable for myself whereby I don't mix my academic stress with my leadership stress. I'm out there, I have to give a speech or whatever I'm doing, I don't have to mix it with my academic stress. So I did not pass my assignments, this and this and this and that. I did not mix it. I had time. I'd managed that very well. Okay. So yeah.
Tracy, same question.
Okay, the challenge is they are always there. The biggest challenge I think we have to face in leadership, we have to come to an agreement, is what to start with, what to end with. Sometimes there are always these problems which you have, which you know are big, but you just can't do them at one time. Maybe there are people who are hungry, there are people who want textbooks. Whom do you start with? Whom do you end with? So the biggest challenge I think I faced as a leader was always having to choose one between the priority to which these problems hit. Of course, you can look at scope. Whom does it affect the most? How does it affect them? Where must I begin? But there is also a principled realm. If you do a bit of philosophy, it's not everything that affects a lot of people that is as urgent. Some things affect the very essence of what we call humanity in people. You have to start with them. So that was always a problem. But the second problem now becomes, Bracy, you have to write a speech which you have to present tomorrow. Bracy, you have to do homework or read for a test which you have to write tomorrow. What do I start with? What do I end with? So most of the times you end up pulling all-nighters and you have to go on strong for at least the next 24 hours so that people do not see that there is a bit of a break that happens. One, at home, when you're trying to write those speeches and balancing them, while you're trying to balance your schoolwork. But two, the very fact that you know you are here but you could have been elsewhere doing something which is as impactful or even more impactful in terms of scope. So that was the first challenge. Of course, the second challenge comes from society as a whole. How do people take you as a leader? Do people think that Bracy is doing enough? Do people think that Bracy is maybe getting paid on our own accord but not doing something to then elevate us? That's always a problem, because every time people hear that Bracy is now this under you, and the first question is, Bracy, are you getting paid? Bracy, are you getting paid? When are we getting our drinks? And I'm like, no, we are not getting paid. Maybe some form of remunerations here and there, but it's not a pay. Do not worry, within our capabilities rather, we are going to try and make sure that you do get everything. But society really has got this fixed norm of saying leaders are abusive towards people in the structural reforms that exist within society as a whole. So
I have an issue with that thing, and I have to say it, yes. You know, when you work with young people, even me, I work with them, and there's always this certain thing that you get paid for trying to help. And,
yeah, true.
And it's like you are earning something and Mina, I'm not getting anything. But even if that was the case, which is not,
Yeah, it's not.
why should you get paid for me helping you out? Let's say we are doing a skills training. So I also have to pay you for you to acquire a certain skill or knowledge. I can never understand that thing. Whoever started this thing and you who attend this into is the problem. But anyway, guys, now rounding off now, let's talk about, you guys just finished high school. St. Columbus, St. Bernard's, what has been your schooling experience like? I'm not talking about Form 6. Okay, I can't even go grade 1. Okay, let's say high school. From that minute to figure out Form 1, what do they call them?
Forms.
Forms. Forms up until you reach high school. Those are what, 6 years?
Yeah,
Those are
6
6 years when you've developed as a human being, you've grown into your character that you are, and ultimately it might shape who you are as an adult or whoever you become in the future. What has been the high school experience like? Pearl?
I can start with that one because I'm on this one.
All right, it's fine. My high school experience is not the typical 2000s high school experience. I arrived in St. Columbus High School and immediately I established myself as a strongman. Not the strongman in political philosophies like the Hitlers and the like, but as a strongman, like I could stand up for myself, I could pursue what I wanted. No one. I was going to say, Bracy are doing something which the teachers don't want and stuff.
Okay.
So I really think to a certain extent I was robbed of feeling the life of a normal child, but still it's fun. I think now I've got wishes to become a United Nations Secretary General, wishes to become an African Union chairperson. That's if one day I do become president, but there isn't much of a fuss about it. So my high school experience has really shaped who Bracy is. You can't identify Bracy without the high school experience, because I am really adamant that what I have learned, what I've gotten as skills in high school are definitely going to propel me in what I ultimately do in my life. Yes, I do wish to become a maths lecturer when I retire from my work. But that also emanates from high school, the teachers I had, the friends I had. So high school identifies what Bracy really is. There were challenges, really, really bad challenges. But the very fact that we managed to overcome them makes me even a more proud person to have went through the high schooling experience, because all the resilience I have is high school. Who is Bracy? You go to St. Columbus, you check the people you used to live with. What is Bracy's vision? It's entrenched within anyone I passed through, because I didn't hide the fact that I want to make something big of people from this side of the sun, that is the southern side of the sun in the African continent. So high school has really led to that. In a nutshell, if anything happens which is good and I become the United Nations Secretary General, you can't just praise Bracy without praising the high school experience that he had. So high school really does shape whom I am, and it really does shape the resilience I have, the things I love, the hobbies I love. Not so long ago, I won a Mets Olympiad. I was third, but my team won, so we get the privilege to say we won. That was a highlight in high school, right? It's a sort of bar everyone at St. Columbus who does maths wants to particularly achieve. So when you get to that point in time, you now want to really sit back and relax and say, from Form 1, I established myself. Form 2, I made mistakes there. Form 3, I established myself as a real strongman. Form 4, I did take Form 4, but that's when my journey began in oratory. Form 5, I made the connections. Upper 6, I enjoyed the life. So that's really a nutshell of what high school has been like, who Bracy is, and how these two interrelate.
Okay. Pearl?
Oh wow, high school really, it was a fun thing to me. I really enjoyed everything about high school. Since 2019 is when I started my Form 1, and I was at Premier by that time. When it comes to high school, really, it's all about discipline, I won't lie. Because I'm there, I was one of those girls who are there, who's talkative. I'll stand up for myself. And so you can come and say what, but then I know what I want. So being in high school, really, with the bullies that would come and say this, would body shame, would say, you're not fit to be this, you're not even fit to do sciences or what, they'll come. Like, a lot of criticism comes with high school, but then it stands with you having discipline and knowing what to say, when to say it, and respecting your teachers. Because to be honest, teachers, I think that the people that we should thank the most when it comes to the whole high school setup, because those people would spend the whole day with you. Yes, they would come and tell you here and there, you're doing the wrong thing, they have a lot to say, but their words would really make you, at times they would break you, you would cry like, ma'am, how could you say that about me? But trust me, that would come from a very good heart. Those teachers, teachers are really the best about high school, besides the stuff they teach. Some stuff that you don't even get to understand. Why, ma'am, but yeah, high school was really fun, because when it comes to me, peer pressure was there. There's nothing that I did not see. Drug abuse came, like, us were the generation that went from Form 1 2019, 2020 COVID lockdown, and then we had to spend half of a year without going to school. That affected our high school because we missed a year. Then we come back, we're wearing masks. And stuff. But it was really nice. And the fact that from the high school we get to make friends, some who just along the way. But then there are some friends who are really there and who help you with the dreams that you want to establish. And yeah, high school was just a roller coaster full of emotions and everything, but it was really fun. It really shapes the person that I am now, the leader, because if there was no high school, I wouldn't call myself an outgoing junior councillor. I wouldn't have made connections like meeting the other MPs, junior MPs, and the senior council as well, having to know about the civic matters that affect the city of Bulawayo, because people have got a different perspective of leaders generally, as we say, to get and stuff. But now that I know, it's all because of high school. And yeah, high school really, I'm so proud to say I went to high school, like from Form 1 to Form 6, everything.
Okay, so very short, I'm talking to you, very short. What are the future some prospects? What are we doing now after high school? What are the plans? Are we taking gap years? What are we doing?
After high school, there exists a domain in one's mind which is really, really complex. The first thing definitely is to take a gap year, go and work, find something, get some money, contribute to the house, pay bills. But I think there exists a difference between the people who literally think of either work or varsity. I think of mixing the two. I want to do liberal arts if possible, which is a course that takes 4 different courses at once, maybe 5 degrees. If it does agree, I'm not a whiz kid, but I just want to try my limits. So I personally think that after high school now, this is the time when I'm willing to experiment the most and realize who Bracy really is. Not experimenting in the idea of Gen Zs and 2000s, but experimenting rather to realize whom Bracy really is. What is Bracy's academical capability? What is Bracy's diplomatic capability? What is Bracy's extent of social capabilities? So this is the time really to realize whom I really am, and I want to use this time, really use it to 1, establish myself within political settings, but 2, establish myself within any possible social setting where I can help. Because after all, I always come back to who Bracy really is, not in terms of Bracy the individual, but in terms of Bracy and his geographical location. We are who we are because of those who have come before us, those who are around us as of current. So I really have got a dream to now delve into that cultural background which we have, which is diverse as Africans. I'm really nationalist and patriotic, so in any way possible, I'm going to celebrate as much as possible what we as Africans have lost in our history, what we still have but we are losing. So this is the time to really establish where in 20 years time do I want to fix certain things when I get the power to do so. Where in 10 years time do I want to be if I do get the means to get there, and if I'm not getting them, how best can I get there? This is the time to really do see that and draw it out from the prospects of life as a whole. So that's the plan currently.
Okay, and you, Pearl?
In reality, gap years are things that are there, because right now I just finished high school. I want to go to university, but then I also want to feel the power of having my own money, going to work. This is what I'm getting for mom, because all these years when I was at school, she has been getting me this. So there comes the pressure of going to work. At the same time, I also want to go study. I want to pursue a degree. I want to say God did. I want to put on the gown, like Guneng. But then we cannot hide the fact that financially I have to be stable. I can't be asking things from mom time and again. I have to find my own. I have to stand my own ground now. This is what I'm doing for my mom. I have to pay bills. I have to what? So really, I have to get a job, and then from there, we can then start working. After working, we can then start schooling again, university. Now, the whole life that we see on movies, what exactly is university? So, feel a lot life for 4 years, and get to pursue the degrees that we want, so that we can be the people that abantu from the community get to look up to. Wow, from where she was, she's now there. Yeah, so really, that's it.
Guys, unfortunately, we've come to the end of our program. And thank you so much for coming, the both of you, and sharing your insights and your experiences on life in high school and your leadership roles. I think today, literally they couldn't hear because you guys were great. And so thank you so much for gracing our set today and talking to me. But Futi, I'm fully impendulan. But what jobs do you think you guys would get with high school certificates? Financial before, but things are now different. But I wish you all, both of you, the best of luck, because I can see the future is just it's too bright for the both of you. So everyone at home, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of The Screenshot. Make sure you leave a like, a comment, show some love for 2 young pioneers. I don't know what they're going to do, but I'm sure it's going to be great. Until next week, bye.